Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosensia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. We're now on Podbean, Pandora, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, a lot more. Makes great gifts for family, friends, even for your furry ones, 24/7, 365. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also cool merchandise like T-shirts, pop sockets, phone cases, and hoodies, and a lot more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosensia. Also, don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's an actor and a ventriloquist and a radio guy from Tuckerton, New Jersey. And he's battled autism at an early age, and his interest in puppets and ventriloquism helped him cope. And we'll talk about that. He served in the U.S. Coast Guard and a longtime ventriloquist, also announcer for the Tropicana in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Very beautiful place. Spent 20 years as a radio announcer, voiceover talent for a number of stations along the South Jersey area, and also performed as a ventriloquist on the East Coast and across several eastern states. And a little bit of history behind him. We'll talk more about that. He's also in a new movie called Halloween Kills. He's been on the Bud Rebel Show, or he hosts it. Live, ladies and gentlemen, for the Plus Studio, somewhere in beautiful downtown New Jersey, the amazing actor, ventriloquist, and amazing radio guy. Ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented Mike Dupree. Mike, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And yes, thanks for joining us today, by the way.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be on your show. I've heard so much about it over the years, and then I called it a few times, and I was truly impressed. I said, this is a great show, and I see why you've gotten all the respect and the notoriety that you deserve. It's such a great show.
And it's
honored to be on, that's for sure.
And it's a great honor to have you on board, Mike. And I looked at your profile and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is a legend. So you're an actor and a ventriloquist, also been in radio for a number of years from Tuckerton, New Jersey, and you battle autism at an early age, and you have some interest in puppets and ventriloquism, which help him cope. And of course, he served in the U.S. Coast Guard, a longtime ventriloquist, also announcer for the Tropicana in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Spent 20 years on the radio and also voiceover talent for a number of stations along the South Jersey area. And he also performed as a ventriloquist on the East Coast and across several southern states. He also in a movie called Halloween Kills, and he also hosted the Bud Rubble Show and a lot more. You got a great story and love to hear a lot about radio and more. And before we get into all that, Mike, tell us how you first got started.
Well, it started when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I always had sort of a learning disability, but back in those days, they really didn't diagnose it the way they do today. And it's, it was sort of rolled over and everybody thought, yeah, he'll get through that or whatever. But I found out that I really liked puppetry from a young age.
Mm.
My parents bought me a Danny O'Day. It was one of my very first. Jerry Mahoney, Paul Winchell's ventriloquist figure. And with that, it helped me get out of my shell. Some children with autism are a little withdrawn, and this helped me sort of ease that little pain and get rid of that self-consciousness that most people that have the form of autism. In fact, to this day, I've never overcome it, but I've been able to cope with it. And crazy enough, with the disorder, I feel more comfortable in front of thousands of people than I do one-on-one. When I was on stage at Tropicana performing, that was my time. I felt so comfortable, and I felt that's where I needed to be. But in a small little group, I could be a little uneasy, but I love people, and I love being around them. But I had broken the ventriloquist figure, and my parents were nice enough to buy me another one.
Nice.
And my mother said, I'll buy you one only if you learn how to do ventriloquism. She figured, I guess, that would be the end all. But there was a little booklet that came in, one of the ventriloquists that I had that I broke. I read up on it, and I started practicing in front of the mirror. And finally, I got it. And my parents were so impressed by it that they actually bought me one of the other figures, which was Willie Talk, and also Danny O'Day, which was big back in the day. And that's how it started. And then I would take it to school, and I'd perform in class with it, much to the teacher's dismay.
Don't you talk back to a teacher like that. You dumb. What do you think you're doing? Yeah, don't talk to that. What'd you say, you idiot?
And it sort of turned me into a class clown. And through my years, I've always had a ventriloquist figure. I didn't get, I used the second, generation, I call them, the little plastic puppets. And it wasn't until the 80s that I actually, when I was in the Coast Guard, bought a professional figure from Mayer Studios in Littleton, Colorado. And that is what started everything. I used to do fire prevention for the local fire companies. I had started after I got out of the Coast Guard. I used to do little shows in the Coast Guard, little comedy clubs wherever I was stationed at. But the biggest pleasure, of course, was doing school shows, the fire prevention, like I said. And later, when I started working for Atlantic City Electric, I was a helper, worked my way up to an apprentice, and later became a lineman. And Atlantic City Electric, that I worked for, greatest company in the world, they would send linemen out in the community schools to do linemen for safety. And what that would entail is you would go out to each class, and you would demonstrate. We had a little shock box to show the kids what arcs look like, and it was a little diorama of different situations. And I was the only person, obviously, that would go in there with a ventriloquist figure. So I would do a little act with the kids. They would pay attention to the dummy more than they would me or any other lineman. So it started spreading, and the company thought, hey, this is great. We're getting requests for him. We'll send him out. And I spent more time, I think, in classrooms than I actually did climbing poles for the most part. But I did that. I just recently retired from the electric company, and that's how I was able to do everything that in radio. Atlantic City Radio didn't ever really pay that much money, but nights and weekends, I would always work at various radio stations in the Atlantic City area. And I do a lot of production and a lot of behind the scenes things, and also radio shifts. I do a lot of those back in the day. And I believe I stopped full-time radio back in 93, I believe. Mm-hmm. But I was still working at the electric company as a lineman, then later trouble man, and then crew leader. And then once I made crew leader, the company thought, that's a little bit too much money to spend paying his salary to go out to these schools. And they sort of put the lineman for safety program on the back burner due to cuts and other things, which was a shame because it was a great program. And that also enabled me to be hired by the Tropicana in Atlantic City. One of the entertainment director's children saw me and mentioned it to them. And next thing I know, I'm getting a call. They asked me to audition. And I brought one of my figures to the casino and did my show. And the guy was in tears laughing. And he said, "Would you want to work for us?" And I said, "Absolutely." And that's how it started for the Tropicana. And with the announcing skills, which it's hard to tell now because I've got allergies real bad. But ladies and gentlemen, the Tropicana Hotel Casino Atlantic City welcomes you to the Bingo Show. Tonight we're going to be giving away. But
amazing. Love
it. So I intertwined radio with the announcing, but also with the ventriloquist dummies were figures. I'm not temperamental like some people are that, they are not dummies. You can't call them. They're figures. Ventriloquial figures. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not sensitive. Of course, I was a lineman. So if you're a lineman in the electric company, you cannot be sensitive or not much can bother you. And a lot rolls off your back. But
wow, I was going to say, that's a shock coming from a lineman. That's a shock.
And I'm probably one of the few that don't slip cuss words out because I've been trained on radio not to let anything slip. Any other lineman I've ever worked with in my entire life always used pretty salty language, to say the least. But I've never been that way because I've always spent time in the classroom with kids, and that's something you just can't do. But a lot of fun in there. But as far as the movie and the acting goes, I used to do little local commercials. I went to Weiss Bear and Ryan, which was one of those acting workshop class things local to Atlantic City. Ursula Ryan, great lady, God rest her soul. She's just passed away this past year. And I can't give them enough credit. They are so good for what they do in the local acting community. They get a lot of people prepared for the future. And I'm a case in point. I have a friend that is a ventriloquist carver, and his name is Conrad Hartz. Conrad actually worked with Buffalo Bill. And I can't even think of it.
Oh, like Buffalo Bill, Wild Bill, Wild Bob, Howdy Doody alone.
Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody, yes. Oh my gosh, that was one of my favorite shows. I mean,
slipped my mind,
Howdy Doody time. What time is it, kids?
Yeah, Conrad actually worked with Buffalo Bill Smith, I guess his name was, and he refurbished one of the figures for him. And he's a real well-known ventriloquist carver and creator. And he does it in the old style of Frank Marshall. And he gave me a shout, and he says that they're casting a movie down in the Carolinas where I'm from. And he's got a strong Southern drawl. He's from South Carolina. Mm-hmm. They're looking for a ventriloquist that doesn't have an accent, that actually is comfortable in front of the camera. And I'll give you the number of the lady that, which was Tanya Dolenquist, John Williams Casting Company. Give them a call, see what they say. So I gave them a call, and this was prior to COVID. This was actually, my part was filmed in 2019. That's how far back this goes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just released this past October, but they held it up a year because of the COVID. I called them, and the lady says, yeah, we have about 150 applicants that are ventriloquists, but if you want, you can send a video, record it on YouTube, and then just give us the link, lock it so nobody can see it, just us, and give us the link, and we'll let you know. So
Okay.
I said, sure. So I did it, not thinking I'd ever hear anything. Next thing I know, she's calling me back and said, can you sing this certain song, which was Shaving Cream?
Oh, my favorite. Who is it? Eddie something is a shave.
Benny Bell.
Benny Bell, that's a shaving cream. Be nice and clean. Oh, my God, I remember that song. Thank you, Dr. Demento, for getting in our heads.
That's it. Dr. Demento. I used to listen to that every Sunday night. They'd have it on one of our local stations. That was my inspiration. When I heard that, I said, oh, sure, I can do that. So using my ventriloquist figure here, I had my son hold just my phone, and he videoed me, and it's on YouTube now, on my YouTube channel, which is in the garden with Mike Dupree. I do garden videos, but I also had the audition. Oh, sorry, the audition.
That's okay. I bet you one of your dummies did it. So it's like, shame on you, dummy. Shame on you.
What are you trying to do to me?
Who the heck is that?
But I submitted the video singing the song Shaving Cream, and I got a call instantly back.
Wow.
And they said, can you do a little longer with a little comedy in between? I said, yeah, sure. So I did that. And they said, okay, you may or may not be hearing back from us. But if you do, we'll email you. And lo and behold, I got an email that said, can you do a Zoom call tonight at 6:00 with the director, producer, and writer? I said, oh, absolutely. At that time, the production title, which I didn't know, every movie has a production title. They don't necessarily use the name. It was called Mob Rules.
Uh-huh.
With that, I thought, what could Mob Rules be? I know there was a movie back in, it was the 80s in England. Great Britain made that, and it was not that good of a movie. I'm thinking it was a bunch of wise guys and, little hoodlums, and the movie wasn't that great. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know why they're remaking that, but I've gone this far. I'm going to go the rest of the way. So when I'm doing my Zoom call, I see the Zoom call come up, and then I see the names pop up one by one. I see David Gordon Green, Jason Blum. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is bigger than I ever thought. This isn't some little two-bit production. This is the real deal. And Malika Cod was on there, his name. So I said, this has got to be Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
They said, can you do Shaving Cream with a little bit of risky humor? And I said, absolutely. Risky humor is what I always did at the casinos. We're dealing with adults. And I went into my act, and I say the S word, which is excrement.
Well, we all know that by now. So it's like, I mean, if you feel needed to say it, it's like it's getting common these days, but keep on going here.
I won't get you in trouble if I say that.
You know what? I've had that number of times. I mean, we're not on major networks or anything like that, but
right.
I just keep going.
I just
of course, like shaving cream.
Yeah, I just didn't want to upset any of your watchers or listeners, because I know you have such a diverse crowd, and I hate to offend anybody. But in that, they said, can you ad lib with a shaving cream? So I said, absolutely. So at the one point where, I keep going back and forth with Horace here, and I'll do a demonstration a little bit here with him to show you, but we're going back and forth. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny because it's a big buildup and everybody's waiting for him. When they say shaving cream, you're expecting to say the SH word. Mm-hmm. So at the one point and the at the end, I go, I have a sad story to tell you. Last night I walked into my bathroom. I stepped in a big pile, and he goes, shit. And I could hear every one of the guys laughing. David Gordon Green, I could hear him laughing. Jason Blum, I could see him sitting back in his chair. So when I saw that, I thought, you know what? I may have a good chance. I know there was at least 150 prior to me putting in for this. Oh my God. So then we concluded the Zoom call. The John Williams, who was the actual casting director for the not for the extras, but for the regular cast, supporting cast, came on and said, "Okay, thank you very much for your rendition, and we'll be letting you know how you make out." And I was keeping my fingers crossed that I'd hear something. A few days went by and I wasn't here, and I thought, geez, because they would get right back to you. That's how it was when I started submitting the tapes. Then I was eating dinner one night. All of a sudden on my phone, John Williams casting comes up on my phone. I'm like, oh, don't tell me. And it was John. He said, Mike, what's the chances of you being able to be down in North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, between the 16th and 20th of September? And I said, wow. That's a very good chance. I said, I could definitely come. I didn't tell him that if it was Nome, Alaska, I would be there. Nothing was going to keep me. I knew, even though they called it Mob Rules, I was a big fan of Halloween 2018. When I saw that information come up on my screen, I knew this had to be the next Halloween. I'm thinking, my goodness, this is going to be the role of a lifetime for especially a ventriloquist. I've never heard of a ventriloquist in one of the Halloween movies.
Oh my gosh. My gosh.
I was on a natural high for the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
And the irony there was just 2 weeks before the movie was going to be filmed, a hurricane came up the coast. And the Carolinas and Florida and Georgia were out of lights. I was one of the crews that they sent out of state down in the Carolinas to put everybody back in. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss this part because we're going to be down here. Well, I was 15 minutes from the studio, Screen Gems Studios. That's where the internals were actually filmed at. And I thought, man, if worst comes to worst, I'll just shoot over. I'll take a taxi or Uber or whatever to be able to make this part. But lo and behold, everybody was back in service and we were able to come back home. So 2 days, I was home 2 days, and then I hopped on a flight and flew right back down to North Carolina and did my part. And I gotta say how nice everybody was. I'm just a ventriloquist from Atlantic City, a regular guy, lineman my entire life, it seems, on radio. Nothing special. They treated me as if I was an A-list actor.
Amazing. Wow.
It was so nice how they treated me from the time I got there until the time I left. I was at Screen Gems for the outfit. This isn't something I would normally wear, but in the movie I did.
I love that outfit, by the way. It's like, I love it.
Big blue window pane checks. But I filmed the part. I was there with David Gordon Green, Jason Blum. They were all there doing their part. I actually was getting fitted for this, and James Jude Courtney, who plays the Shape, which is Michael Myers, was there getting fitted for his jumpsuit and I guess doing the final stuff. And then he actually put the mask on, and I have the picture. I don't know if I can bring it up on the Zoom or not, but it's a great with Emily Gonsher, who is the wardrobe person, and she is a great lady. And she's attending to him, and I happened to snap a picture of her doing that. And he has his mask on, standing there. I thought that was such a cool picture. I worked with Carmela McNeil. She was the sexy nurse who was actually the doctor, and then the sexy doctor guy, Michael Smallwood. These people were great. They're professionals through and through. Robert Longstreet, what a great guy. He's been in so many films. And I just can't say enough about these individuals. Anthony Michael Hall for another one.
Oh, yes. The Breakfast Club. That's right. Part of the Rat Pack. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. And National Lampoon's Family Vacation, where they went out to Wally World. He was the young boy in that.
Oh, yeah, the Griswolds. I remember. Yes.
And you would expect that he'd have a huge ego and wouldn't want to be bothered, but he was such a nice guy, treated me extremely well. I just couldn't get over how great of a guy he was. And I'd come up with him with Horace, my ventriloquist figure, and I go, "Hey, Mr. Hall." He says, "It's Michael." Because his real first name is Michael, but there was a Michael Hall when he came onto the scene, so they put Anthony in front of it so nobody would confuse him with the other actor. Well, he became bigger than that Michael Hall actor anyhow, but he still went by Anthony Michael Hall, but he preferred to be called Michael.
Interesting.
But yeah, he'd look at that dummy and said, "You stay away from me. You can stay near me, but I won't." He was pretty funny about that.
Oh my gosh.
And, I'm trying to think who else. Nancy Stevens, who was the original nurse with Dr. Loomis in the very first Halloween, because this is in succession. This wipes out all the other Halloweens that happened, with the exception of the very first Halloween. This takes place after years later, when Jamie Lee Curtis has moved on from things, and she's if you saw Halloween 2018, you would know the timeline, and this takes up right after that. They're going to be filming Halloween Ends in January. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe they'll call me back for that, but I'm not actually certain that that's going to take place, but I'm hoping.
Well, what you can talk to Horace about that too, see what he thinks. Make him bring Horace on board, and if you want to wake him up and get him ready, we'll take a quick time out and give him a minute to get himself right. You dummy. You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, and a lot more. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/me-and-Mo-Sinzia for great merchandise and cool books. Amazon.com/me-and-Mo-Sinzia. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the amazing actor and ventriloquist and radio guy, Mike Dupree of New Jersey here on the Mike Wagner Show. And looks like we're going to have Mike and Horace come on board today. Hey, Horace, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. And looks like you're having some fun, Horace, today. So,
yeah, I sure am. I'm happy to be here. I like that book, Missing. I'd like to read that. Oh, well, I'll get your copy if you like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, we just got some t-shirts, there's pop sockets, hoodies and all that. And you guys can send me email, whatever you like. I mean, we'll send you a link, you order it. And Mike, if you can read it to Horace, or Horace, you can read it to Mike. Or if you're just happen to be bored, you can just, read about it, talk about it, and everything else. I mean, it'll just keep you on your toes and maybe you not sleep at night. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I make everybody lose sleep at night. Yeah, you sure do. You're pressed.
and I can.
What did you eat? Garlic. Oh, boy, I can tell. Smells like you ate a skunk. Yeah, guess which end? Oh, I can just imagine. It's so good to be on the Mike Wagner Show finally. Oh, you're a fan? I have been a fan for years. And I'm no dummy. But in between shots on the set, we actually filmed it was an actual bar that shut down. It was the Rusty Nail in Wilmington, North Carolina. In between shots, Horace and I'm not one for just sitting around waiting. So we would go around and entertain all the entertainers and even the camera people and the craft services people. Yeah, Barbara Dole. Oh, what a hottie. Stop it now. But we would entertain everybody in between shots. Yeah, to the point where we were a pain in the neck. You were a pain someplace else. Listen to you. It's so good to be here, though, on the Mike Wagner Show. Yeah, I know. So he's going to be your new spokesman. And that's right. Don't be a dummy. Listen and watch the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey, by the way, Horace, I was going to ask you something. What questions do you have for me? I'm going to ask you that.
Oh, my goodness. How do you do it? You're everywhere. You're on radio. You're on the web. You're on YouTube. How do you have time to sleep, Mike?
Very carefully.
I bet. I bet you he sleeps with one eye open.
I feel like the same man on Metallica. I'll tell you that. It's like one eye open. You never know what's going to happen.
I tell you, my goodness. Yeah, you're everywhere. Every time I look on the internet, there you are. Facebook. You're on Facebook too, isn't he? He sure is. Where else?
That's right. Let's see. And of course, there's Instagram and there's Twitter, YouTube. You know what? I forgot TikTok. I'm on TikTok.
TikTok.
You know, that's right. Yeah, it's not the clock go TikTok. And I had some qualms about it, and then I actually posted a thing on Facebook. Should I be on TikTok or not? And 75% says, hell yeah, you should be on TikTok.
Oh yeah. We even have I think
2 videos.
Yeah, just 2, but that's enough. But we may put some more in over time or what have you.
So I'm speaking of 2 videos. You guys were on the early cameras, WCBS TV and WNBC TV. And I look at these cameras, I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to be on those cameras.
Oh yeah, they're a lot of fun. They weigh probably with the bases. It's I don't know if you can see. It's hard to zoom in, but you can see the base. They weigh with the bases about 650 pounds.
Wow.
And you can imagine, I had the help of my son. That's how I got him in my studio here. Sorry about that light. It's a little intense. I'll turn that down here.
You need some sunglasses, Horace? Looks like you're going to need some.
He's going to work me. I'm going to get worked. Yeah, more than you already are.
Listen to you, Mr. Wise Guy.
Stop that. That's disrespectful. Oh, that was distasteful.
No, it wasn't. Tasted like garlic.
Well, sounds like somebody had pizza, I'll tell you that. So.
Yeah, I wish it was pizza. I like pizza.
What do you like on your pizza, Horace?
Just garlic, that's it, and plenty of it.
Yeah, I can tell. So, Horace is actually made out of wood.
Yeah. I got hemorrhoids, too.
Oh, you got hemorrhoids?
Yeah, I was made out of knotty pine.
What a bad place for a knot, though.
Knotty pine.
So you were carved?
I certainly was.
What was the worst part?
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
It hurt the whole time he was carving me.
Oh, yeah? What was the absolute worst part?
Doing the head stick.
The head stick.
It hurt the whole time he was doing that, the son of a gun.
He's actually made by Bill Nelson is the creator. He drew the puppet out. Chuck Jackson was the carver, and these were considered Nelson Jackson figures back in the day. He's one of, I think, 50 that were carved. It could be more. We're not exactly sure. But this was a line that they made back in the early 80s and 90s. And then they stopped making them. So every one is totally different. So you might be lucky enough to find one out there. But Horace here is one of a kind.
Yeah, you better hold on to me. I'm more famous than you are.
You know something, Horace? You know who you remind me of? You remind me of Walter from Jeff Dunham. Is just like, get your crap out of Walmart and get out of there. Something like that.
Well, as the story goes, and we're not real sure, it's conflicting, but this line of figures, Mr. Horowitz from Nelson Jackson, was actually the inspiration, which is confirmed with Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham used, it could be this exact figure. We're not exactly sure. I got to do some more research, but at the very first, one of the conventions way back when, before Jeff was very famous, he borrowed the figure from one of the guys in the audience and said, "Oh, could I use him?" And that quick, Jeff came up with an act to show everybody how you can manipulate and create a character just based on the looks. And Jeff is so talented and creative that he came up with an act, real quick. And supposedly this is the figure when I bought him, but it doesn't matter to me whether he is or he isn't. But this line, the Mr. Horowitz figures, were definitely the inspiration of Jeff Dunham's Walter.
Yeah, just a good guy.
I know he is.
Very, very talented, unlike you.
Well, aren't you glad you don't have Achman trying to terrorize you? He goes, "I spell egg.
I kill you.
Silence, I kill you.
Silence, I kill you.
B-H phlegm. Silence, I kill you." Oh my gosh. Hey, Horace, I'm gonna ask you this question. How'd you like the movie Halloween Kills or Halloween 2018? What were your thoughts on that movie?
I like Jamie Lee Curtis. She is such a sweetheart.
I know she is. Very nice person.
I like Halloween Kills, only the bar scene.
Oh, the bar scene?
Yeah. Nobody gets killed there.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to get killed at one point.
I killed the crowd, that's for sure. Yeah, you sure did. With your little act and your cuss words.
They're not supposed to say that, Mike.
Okay.
Hey, Horace, you're not supposed to swear, damn it.
Oh, listen to him. Oh, jeez.
Don't you do it.
Okay. I'll behave myself on the Mike Wagner Show. It's a great place to be, I'll tell you. I like Mike. Everybody likes Mike.
and we like you guys too as well. And of course, you know what? I don't know if you got any of your puppets as well too. I mean, you guys just had a great team. You've been doing it for just quite some time. And how'd you like the Tropicana, Horace?
It was good. I got a lot of dates out of that.
A lot of dates.
Yeah, and a lot of prunes too.
Should have seen that coming.
Are you kidding? You're blind as a bat.
and you're dating prunes. You were raised in hell. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good pun. I'm gonna have to use it.
Not without written permission from the producer.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Hey, you can use it. It's okay. Go right ahead.
So anyhow, are you dating anybody?
No, not anymore.
Oh yeah? How's your sex life?
I hold my own.
Oh, jeez. I guess with a face like that, you have to.
Screw you. Don't you rub me the wrong way.
Was he talking about his friend
Mike.
Woody or what?
Oh,
Yeah, don't tell them what kind of a pet you have. We don't want to go there. They live in trees and they eat wood, and he's scared to death of them.
Oh, my
woodpecker.
gosh. Yeah. and of course, I remember that red bird back in the 40s and 50s from Universal in Santa Barbara. Oh, my gosh. And I think it was Walter Lance that just took it to a whole new level. It's like,
Yeah.
I have one of those days where it's like, depends on the mood. You know, Woody's a little lovable, and there are days you just want to just strangle it a little point. Just like that walrus. Oh, come on, Woody.
I like the Warner Brothers.
Oh, did you?
They were my favorite.
Well,
That's all, folks. That was horrible. What's up, Doc? Oh, I know who that one was.
who?
The banana split.
No.
My favorite. You just said about my favorite cartoon. Tra la 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 la.
Yeah. Well, you know who is one of the voices of that?
Who?
Paul Winchell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul Winchell. Oh,
Yeah. And
Oh,
he was the voice of Jerry Mahoney. He did the Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith. And Knucklehead Smith was actually Tigger in Winnie the Pooh. So if you watch Winnie the Pooh, the funniest thing about tigers don't like honey.
that was good. And of course, the Basswood Show. Come on, Horace, let's see you pull it off.
The Banana Splits presents the Banana Splits. That was horrible. But yeah, Paul Winchell was the voice of Tigger, and also hundreds and hundreds of other voices. He showed up in the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. Every sitcom you can think of from the 60s and 70s, he would make guest appearances and play bit parts, and he was just a character. To be honest, I don't think he would turn down any job. He was the Lucky Charms, or not Lucky Charms, but the Charms Lollipops, the Owl, Mr. Owl.
Oh, that was Tootsie Roll. Yeah. Let's see. How many licks does it take? A 1, a 2, a 3.
Yep, that was Paul Winchell that did that.
Oh, my
kidding. You're pretty smart for a dummy.
Behave yourself.
Hey, you know something? I'm hungry for a Tootsie Pop right now. How about you? What's your favorite flavor?
Oh, yeah. Cherry.
Oh,
Cherry's my favorite.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it makes
man.
my dentures stick.
You have dentures?
Yeah.
Do you brush your teeth?
No. Who has time for that anymore?
Especially with garlic, too. They could come out with a garlic lollipop.
That explains the excess stink.
You have no manners. Yeah, I learned them from you. From me.
Oh my gosh, boy. I can go on about these 60s and 70s cartoons, I'll tell you what. It's like, Mel Blanc, Paul Winchell, and I think there was I think there was that one guy who was it Tudor the Turtle, King Leonardo. I think it was I talk about this guy a lot. He was like the voice of God.
Paul Frees.
It was somebody else. It was Larry. It was somebody else. He was like 5 foot, 100 pounds, and they looked at him. He was on the Tonight Show. They're like, "That's the voice of God."
Yeah, Dawes Butler. Dawes Butler.
Dawes Butler. I'm trying to think. Was there another one?
He did all the Hanna-Barbera. Dawes Butler did so many voices, and he was a real short little guy. Mel Blanc was too, but
okay, yeah, because I think the name I talked about a lot, and I'm trying to remember, who it was, but I'm sure the name will come up as well too. I mean, that was such an art back in the day too. It's like one of my aspirations, but yes, it's like, woo-wee, I'm just ready to.
Paul Frees that I had mentioned, he does all the Rankin Bass. He does the snowman on the Santa Claus on Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, I remember that.
Don't cry, Karen. Frosty isn't gone forever,
Oh gosh, I remember that. Yeah, that was like I'd be dating myself. Right. They had that. What was it? The Rankin Bass with that claymation that came out around the year I was born. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And they're still timeless these days. It's like
they are. They're more popular today than they were back when they came out. And Videocraft is the company that actually was first, and then Rankin and Bass changed it from Videocraft International to Rankin Bass. But all that stuff was done in Japan. The funny part is they created the characters themselves. They hand built them out of yak hair and wool and carved wood. It was amazing what they went through to create those figures. But all that stop motion stuff was actually created in Japan, and the voice was done in, I believe, Canada for the most part. We're all Canadians, with the exception when they brought Paul Frees in. Paul was also the ghost host at Disney World. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the haunted castle. But his voice shows up everywhere. He was Boris Bentonoff. It was so many characters that he did over the years, and then sadly he took his own life, over medicated himself one time.
Oh my gosh! Yes,
in the early '80s, I think, and that was it. It was a shame because he was such a huge talent. Dawes Butler was too, and Dawes Butler was a super nice guy as well. I've always wanted to do cartoon voiceovers. And I used to do national commercials for a recording studio, and a lot of them, they would ask for cartoon type voices, and I would perform. And I always wanted to try out for a role as a cartoon, in Hollywood, but I've never gotten around to it. But who knows?
And of course, with the use of Zoom and all the technology, you can get in there too. I mean, Larry Storch was another one too, and he did some really good work. And then you got the new modern voice actors, Tara Strong, who she's all over the place. Was it Powerpuff Girls, Miss Minute, and everything else? So
she does a couple young boys' voices, and it's amazing. And you look at the SpongeBob and all the creativity that goes into them, and all the voice actors, Clancy that does Krabs, Mr. Krabs. Well, get on, SpongeBob. But he's real creative, and I just saw him on TV the other day, and Tim Conway was on there, Ernest Borgnine, and they tend to get a lot of people from the business, the older actors, and bring them in. Same as the Family Guy. Family Guy does the same thing. They'll pull in old actors. The Simpsons did the same thing. One of my friends that I worked with years back, Werner Klemper, who played Colonel Klink, They brought him in.
Yeah,
on
one of my
Simpsons.
favorites, Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan.
You don't go, Hogan. What are you doing?
I always liked Schultz. I thought he was the greatest. But then when I got the chance to actually work with Werner Klemper, he did Love Letters, and I did the announcing for that show for him, pre-recorded. But what a nice guy. And he, his acting royalty. He was in Judgment in Nuremberg, and he was in practically every sitcom you can think of in the 60s and 70s. He was on the Beverly Hillbillies. I saw him on there, and Love American Style. Love
I remember
Vogue.
that, yes.
But he was a very prolific actor, and him and his wife that was the final show I think they did was Love Letters. Bob Crane also did Dinner Theaters and later part in his life, and unfortunately was murdered before he had a chance to make it big again. That's a shame, because Hogan's Heroes was such a great show. It was one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the best. And Richard Dawson as well too, before he hit it big with Family Feud and all the others.
Match Game was another one.
Oh my
he
gosh,
was so good on Match Game. Everybody would call on Richard because it was almost he could read their minds.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the Game Show Network, and he was on there, and I remember watching them years and years ago, but it's just amazing how good he was of coming up with the right answer, the same thing that the person was thinking. It was almost scary, but what a great show that was too.
And I remember he was always up there with, who was it? Brett Summers, Charles Nelson Riley. And he also had the other guests in there who just happened to fill in. And I remember he was also, I don't know if he played on Hollywood Squares, but similar to him was Paul Lynde, always in the center and always come up with the answers. You want a block, a win, you always went with Paul Lynde no matter what. And I think every contestant had to go to Paul Lynde. Yeah. I remember that. Wow.
I used to love Paul Lynde. I thought he was the funniest guy I ever met, or not that I met him, but the funniest guy I've ever seen on television. He was so quick-witted. But then I found out the truth. He really didn't write any of that. It was the writers of the show that had the comebacks. And how they did that was they would give him the answer, but wouldn't give him the question. So he would have the answers to 10 questions in front of him. He'd have the answers to them, but he wouldn't have the answer. Or the question. So he would have to come up with that quick to put which one to fit the blank. He did do that, but none of that stuff was his own. He didn't write any of that. Whereas Charlie Weaver came up with his own comebacks, and some were a little risky, but most of the answers, the gag answers, were given to him ahead of time. But not the actual answer to the question that Peter was answering.
I think Charlie Weaver was the guy in the very bottom left corner. I remember Wally Cox. He was in the
Wally
upper
Cox
left, and he was always sincere. And he can get a little sassy too at times. It's like, don't let that Mr. Peebles underdog, that's a nice guy fool you. It's like he can tear you up at times too.
Yeah,
so, like, Charlie don't ever estimate that guy.
Charlie Weaver was actually a character. Cliff Arquette was the actor that played Charlie Weaver. So he was before Larry the Cable Guy, which Larry is just a name for the comedian Dan. I forget what his last name was, but anyhow, his name isn't Larry the Cable Guy. It's obviously Dan the comedian. But Cliff Arquette played Charlie Weaver, and that was the very first time that a character was played on regular television as a person, unlike Joe the bartender that Frank Fontaine played. Hey, Joe. And the Jackie Gleason show, he played the bartender.
Oh, yeah. Jackie Gleason. How sweet it is.
Yeah. How sweet it is. Hey, Norton. I would say there, Ralph.
Hey, Ruffy boy. And that's also the inspiration of the Flintstones, too. It's like,
Yes.
I love watching that show.
Well, here's the irony there. Jackie Gleason could have sued the producers, Hanna-Barbera, because it was shown that that's an exact copy of The Honeymooners. And lawyers were telling him, Jackie, you could win this. You could get all kinds of money out of it. And he thought, you know what? Millions and millions of kids across the country love this. What kind of a cad would do something like that and have that ripped off the air? So he refused to sue them over it and never got a dime. But it was an exact copy of The Honeymooners.
And I think kids loved it as well, too. It's like, who knew it was like a copy of The Honeymooners? I mean, I was like maybe 5 years old back in the 60s. It's like, how was I supposed to know that was a Honeymooners? Just, a couple of knuckleheads walking around and a couple of ladies and, just adoring their men. And of course, you have those Winston cigarette commercials and putting on the jewelry. And of course, you have those animals that did the work like snap, snap, snap. I hate this job. Snap, snap, snap. Or my favorite was the bird on the record player, sticking his nose down and playing this and lift up. It's like, what kind of crap is this? And then just go on and keep playing the record. Those are ones I love.
I know. I'm a certain fan of 60s cartoons and actually 40s too, because all the Warner Brothers had Merry Melodies that dates back to the late 30s, early 40s. And 50s, and they did it up until I think the 80s, but I didn't watch many cartoons.
And of course, too, and of course, Warner Brothers wasn't exactly clean and everything else. You got to the ones that later on, it's like you see those little captions on the this guy's an idiot. It's like what Dodo would write this. It was like a war going on between the writers, creators, and everything. It's just like some of it was funny, and some of it just got downright nasty. And I was reading some of that, and it's like it was also actually rather risque, and a
lot of it was.
And of course, it's just like the stuff they covered and everything. It's like that would have been banned on today's TV. And I looked, I was like, it was funny as heck.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the cartoons have been censored to the point that they're not on television anymore. They don't show them. Just like Song of the South, Uncle Rebus.
Oh, that's sad.
You will never see that again, the likes of that on television or movies or anything else. And I personally never thought anything racial about it, but obviously there are some sensibilities that triggered it. So Disney World will never play that again, they said. And it's a shame because the black actor was such, and I can't recall his name, but his wife, after he passed, when they came out with this, and she said that would kill him to know that they're not playing that.
Oh my gosh!
Because he didn't play it as that old Stepin Fetchit character from the 30s. I forget what his name was, but Stepin Fetchit was the character's name, and he played a dumb guy. And the character, was dumb, but the actor really wasn't. And unfortunately, that kind of stuff, that humor cannot be played again. Not that it needs to, because it was made to be stereotypical, even though it wasn't stereotypical. Amos and Andy was another one, but they do play Amos and Andy on television, and it is dated comedy, but there's so many other comedies that were so great, and it's a shame for the black actors back then that don't get shown anymore because of the sensibilities.
And what's going on as well, too. And Mel Brooks had a really interesting, article that he put out, and I put on Facebook. Nobody objected. He said political correctness is killing comedy, and he's the one that really got Blazing Saddles off the ground. And it was designed to simply make fun of each other. It's okay to make fun of yourselves. Nowadays, it's like you can't even air Blazing Saddles nowadays. But I watched it; it was hilarious as heck.
Oh, it sure was. But now you'll see a version that they've cut up so bad that it leaves out a lot of the humor. And that's the shame of it all. Of course, I'm not the spokesman for political correctness. And, like I said, I was a lineman. We joked around, never racist, obviously, but we would, belittle each other. And that's just the nature of the business. And that's why when it comes to entertainment, I think that sometimes things are being pushed a little too far. For instance, the movie that we're in, Halloween Kills, and I don't mean to spoil this. This is a spoiler. So if you haven't watched the movie, there's a gay couple that's included in the movie. And they are two of my favorite characters in the film. They both get killed. And somebody on one of the forums, and I would, scan through all the forums to see what people were saying about it. They said that, the producers and the writers are homophobic. And I'm thinking, no, they weren't. What movie do you know that includes a gay couple? And Mike Myers isn't homophobic. He was going to kill any and everybody that crosses his path. Mm-hmm. So that was something that, bothered me. And I'm thinking, this was most diverse crowd that I've ever worked with. The directors and the writers, and I met them all, and not one of them were, they were great people, and they hired a diverse group, which I think, everybody brings something to the party. And I hated to read that kind of stuff, that people throw that nonsense in. And even Dave Chappelle, they tried to shut him down. And what did he do? He turned it right around on them and said, listen, this is humor. You come here to my shows, you're going to get what you paid for. And, I give Dave credit for standing up. Seth Rogen, same thing. I think he came back and started saying a lot of the political correctness stuff has to end because it's causing nothing but heartaches. But
and let's ask Horace as well too. Horace, do you promise not to give the spoiler away to everybody? Will you promise?
Yeah, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm too cheap.
yeah.
and of course, don't forget to go see Halloween Kills as well too. And we'll talk about the Bud Rebel show. We'll do that in just a minute. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the actor, ventriloquist, and radio guy, and the multi-talented Mike Dupree and his friend Horace after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with Mike Dupree and Horace here on the Mike Wagner Show, and you guys have been great as well. We forgot to talk about the Bud Rebel show. It's just like, we just talk about Horace.
Yeah, Bud Rebel show was one of those pilots that were pitched to, I believe, Hulu TV or Adult Swim. It was produced after Halloween Kills up in New York. A guy as a character. His real name is Bruce, his first name, but he goes by Bud Rebel. And he has this show that he's been trying to get together for years, and then he dies on stage. And my job is to take over for him and calm the crowd down as the ventriloquist on the show. So it's a crazy premise. And I was able to get my daughter, who is also an actress, on the show with me, and she's sitting next to me in the audience when I come up on stage and start doing my act and try and calm everybody down. And but it was one of those crazy things. And Bud Rebel, you can catch him on the internet doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He gets a lot of views. I'll tell you, it's amazing what he's done for himself.
And what can we find Halloween Kills and all your works at, Mike?
I'm sorry?
Where can we find Halloween Kills and all your other works, Mike?
Well, Halloween Kills now is on Prime TV, I believe. It was on Peacock for a certain amount of time and theaters everywhere. It was a blockbuster when it first came out. It made like $130 million within the first 2 to 3 weeks. And now it's over in Europe and it's all over the world. Now, on January 14th, it's going to be available in the home market, as far as you can get it on Prime Video, of course, but you can also buy the DVD and Blu-ray. And if you happen to live near me, I'll sign a copy for you. Not that we're anybody, but a little keepsake for all our people out there that happen to live in New Jersey that happen to see me doing an appearance somewhere. And we did the old Christmas in Tuckerton, and a lot of people showed up for that. We were giving out autographs, and Horace did a little act. He got you in trouble, didn't he? You sure did. Too many people around there know me. Yeah, they should have known what was going to come out of your mouth. It was your mouth that they have to worry about. Jeez. And I've since then I've done a lot of commercials out of New York. I did 6 real estate commercials for a firm up there. One for Amazon Alexa I did right here in Atlantic City International Airport. And I did a short film out of Philly. And unfortunately, a year ago, I was all set up to do, I think it was I'm trying to think, the next 48 hours, or it was one of those crime series where they reenact a murder that happens and the steps that the investigators take. Unfortunately, what happened, I got fitted for the police uniform. I was going to play the lead detective in it. I was all uniformed up, and they said, okay, we're going to be filming next week. You just have to get a COVID test, and then everything will be set. So I went and got the COVID test. It came back positive.
Ouch.
I called the producer. I said, you're not going to believe this, but that test came back. And she said, yeah, that happens a lot, that they're false positives. Instead of the rapid, go with the other test. So I went to my doctor, and sure enough, I had it.
Oh, boy.
Fortunately for me, it was a very mild case, and it wasn't, and I'm not the thinnest guy in the world. And they say if you're heavy set, it could cause you a lot of problems. And fortunately, I didn't have any issues, and I did get the vaccinations after the fact. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get it. A friend of mine who I worked with for years had all 3 shots, came down with it. He was on a respirator in the hospital.
Wow.
He, the day he was to be released, he had a stroke.
Oh my gosh.
And lost total use of his left side.
Wow.
And, yeah, it's my buddy Vincent, and it's a shame. And he's, to this day, which, it's been a couple months now, he still hasn't regained use, and he's going through therapy. And it's a shame because he's such a great guy, life of the party. And he was a frustrated comedian, to be honest with you. Yeah, you could learn a thing or two from stop it.
Oh my gosh, that is something. And of course, Mike, just a few more things here. What else do you have coming up in 2022 and beyond? What can we expect from you?
Well, like I said, they're going to be filming Halloween Ends in January sometime. And I'm hoping that they call me back. There's always that possibility that they do, because the producers tend to do that when they get an actor, they'll use them for the next one down the line. So I'm hoping for that. I haven't put in for anything other than the reason I have a beard is a part that's coming up that I had the heads up on that I applied for. That's going to be filming in May. They're looking for a homeless veteran.
Oh, wow.
So I figured I'd grow my beard and grow my hair out a little bit so I look more of the part. So I'm going to go for that. That's up in New York. I'm going to try for that. But I did play the clerk in the film Lawns, which is a production title. And it was a grocery clerk or the manager who these hoodlums come and try to beat up and everything. And I run them out of the store. And that was a small a short film that I did. That's something else. And a couple music videos. I did Black Keys video up in New York back in, I think it was May of last year. And I haven't seen that yet, so I don't know how that is. And I did a music video just recently up in New York, and it's for an up-and-coming rapper.
Oh,
so
wow.
hopefully that'll be coming out as well. But right now, I haven't really booked anything until after the possibility of Halloween Ends calling me up or whatever. I wanted to make myself available in case.
Okay. That sounds amazing. I'm so looking forward to what you got, Mike, and Horace as well, too. I'm looking forward to what you guys got. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career, Mike?
Oh, there's so many. There's Paul Winchell. It's Jim Henson.
Oh, yes. Jim
was such an inspiration with the Muppets. Sesame Street came out in '69 when I was in kindergarten. And I used to rush home from school every day to watch Sesame Street because I love the puppets. And again, that was one of my main inspirations. Edgar Bergen was another. And there's just so many to really name.
That has to as well, too.
It's a microphone that I had in front of Horace. His shoe keeps hitting it. That's the noise. And then the dog's over here whining.
Easy, Toby, easy.
Yeah, easy. That's right.
Excuse me.
And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Always follow your dreams. If you're trying to make it in the business, it may take years and years, such as me. I'm 50. Well, I was 57 when I filmed Halloween Kills. And it just shows you it's never too late to make it in the business. And unfortunately, unfortunately for a lot of people, they try it and they think, oh, I'll never have a chance, and they just give up. Always follow your dreams. You never know where it's going to wind up at.
And that's very true as well, too, just like many of us here. Once again, Mike Dupree, the infamous actor, ventriloquist, radio guy on the Mike Wagner Show. Love to have you back on, too, along with Horace. We'll talk more about your amazing career, radio, and all kinds of good stuff. And looking forward to what you have, and looking forward to having you again very soon. You guys are amazing. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact, where can people, just purchase or check out your stuff?
Okay. You can, I have a YouTube channel, and it's In the Garden with Mike Dupree. What I do is I do some information, and I have a crazy next door neighbor that always pops in, and he pays a visit. He usually gets in my way. And not only is it educational, but it's funny a little for the most part, a lot of sight gags. I'm also on Twitter. So if you look at Mike Dupree, I show up there. YouTube is the easiest way. If you want to send me an email, I'm at dupreestudios@mail.com. That's another way. I'm on Facebook, and I'm nearing getting close to 5,000 friends on Facebook, and unfortunately, they only allow you to have 5,000. So once you get that, you can't accept any more unless you clear out a lot of friends that have passed away, or
just people. You post happy birthday like 3 years in a row, and you don't respond to it. I do the same thing. Happy birthday for 30 in a row. You haven't responded. See ya.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's it. And we got a lot of great stuff that's planned. And I possibly have a music video coming up. We're working on another comedian that I'm friends with. We're going to be putting that together, and it's going to be Shaving Cream. We'll be posting that on YouTube or Twitter or maybe Instagram. I don't know if we'll be doing that on TikTok, but we have a couple videos on TikTok. The Hamilton Radio, we're going to be making a lot of appearances on Hamilton Radio. Doc G, Jimmy Deal, Jerry Petito. Oh my God. You're going to be on Jerry's show.
Yes, that's right.
What a great lady she is. You're going to have a ball with her. I was fortunate enough to be in the same state, so I drove over to the studios to be with her. Such an inspiration. I can't say enough about Jerry. She she was in the gutters. She's lucky to be alive, and she worked her way out. And with the inspiration, she has made a total change. She was into drugs and everything, and with the proper therapy and religion has helped her out. And now she has a book that's out, and she's an inspiration for us all. And she's all over the world with her show. She has so many viewers, and it's just phenomenal. The people that have come up and said, I heard you on the Jerry Petito show, and I'm sure I'm going to get the same with the Mike Wagner show.
That's right, and we're looking forward to it as well, too. Once again, Mike, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. We got to have you back on again and talk more.
Absolutely.
As well, yes, that's right.
I would love it.
And definitely
I'm always available.
And Horace, nice to meet you. Thanks for being on. We'd love to have you on again, and we wish you guys all the best. That's right. And you guys have been totally amazing. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mike. It's been a pleasure, and Happy New Year.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.